Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here today with our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Every single weekend, answering our community's questions, all things wellness, weight loss, anti-aging, and you name it, we work on it if it is involved with the mind, the body, getting this body healthy and balanced. So we've been doing this now for many years. It's something that I love to be able to do, to be able to open up the giant Ask Cabral document filled with all sorts of different questions from real people from all over the world. Yes, these are real questions from real people. And I simply give you the answer to the best of my ability, drawing from all the different disciplines that I've studied, whether it be functional medicine, naturopathic medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, bioregulatory medicine, what else do we have? Eastern-based philosophy, and so much more. So let's get started. So what I do is I just open up the document. There's no prep work ahead of time. And as I said, what I believe is the best next step for you is what I give you, but I'm not here to provide any medical advice, any medical treatment plans, or as they say, cures, right? So Andrea is up first, and let's see what Andrea says. I had a question for you based on the health plan you provided me back on 4/7. After completing my metals test, before I could follow out this plan of metal detox, I had lots of abnormal symptoms begin, so I saw a functional medicine doctor. She performed multiple additional tests, and long story short, I was recently diagnosed with SIBO, colon bacterial overgrowth, e-coli, low secretory IgA, chronic urinary tract infections, and inflammation elevated CRP. So in addition to the supplements I normally take, I am now also taking the supplements and herbs attached for 3 months. Then plan to get complete general detox and metal detox. The problem is that we are trying to get pregnant as soon as we are able to after this 3-month SIBO treatment plan. So in order to also complete a detox and metals detox, I was curious if I'd be able to complete Dr. Cabral's general and metals detox while I'm taking the attached supplements. Or must I wait? I'm not done with these before I start the detoxes. I noticed the metal detox is 6 weeks and wasn't sure if there's a shorter version of this too. All right, I get it, Andrea. What I can say is that I know for sure that I personally did not provide you with any health plan on 4/7. So it may have been another Dr. Cabral, but I know that wasn't me. But all kidding aside, what I can do is I can help you navigate this, not a problem at all. So because the thing is too, this is the predominant thing that we test for. So we test for parasites and H. pylori and SIBO and Candida, right? So these are all things that we would typically do. But again, as I always say, you don't have to work with us. You can also work with any integrative health practitioner, functional medicine doctor, if they specialize in this, et cetera. So I'm glad that you found what you found. Typically, we would begin to implement what's called the SIBO protocol. So SIBO protocol by Equilife, and for all this additional overgrowth, we would definitely add the citracidal drops. If there was no parasites, we would skip the parasite protocol. If there was no H. pylori, we'd skip that protocol, right? So good. So you're doing some type of SIBO protocol. Fantastic. Okay. I hope that it's working and you're good to go. Now you're asking, can you do a functional medicine detox? I assume that that's what you're asking. 7, 14, or 21 days during that SIBO protocol. If it's our SIBO protocol or like it, the answer is yes from me. Okay. Now, if you're talking about the 6-week heavy metal detox, can you do that during the SIBO protocol, the one that we recommend? The answer is yes, you can. So at week 6 of the SIBO protocol, now we typically wait until it's done, so people aren't feeling overwhelmed. But if you don't feel overwhelmed, you could certainly start at week 6 of your 12-week protocol for your gut, and you can complete that 6-week heavy metal detox. Now you're saying, well, is there a shorter version? Well, there isn't, and the reason is that it's based on clinical science, and it's based on the research that I've shared with you on cracked cell chlorella, cilantro, and vitamin C. And then we use a biofilm disruptor that will be helpful. But, again, you might already be on one. So that's that. Again, I don't have your plan in front of me because there's no documents to upload with Ask Cabral, but I think that will give you the answer that you're looking for. And these are all great things to do before getting pregnant. So again, I commend you. I think you're doing a phenomenal job, and I'm happy that you're doing this before getting pregnant. So good job. All right, Katie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. What can you share about vasomotor rhinitis? My allergy doctor believes I have it, as my normal allergy symptoms have gotten so much better after many protocols, but I still suffer from the odd symptom, the feeling that my nostrils are inflamed and small, making it hard to get air in through my nose. I frequently end up taking sharp sniffs to get enough air through my nose. There are no other symptoms of this aside from the occasional throat and chest pain from being so tense trying to get air in. What can I do to overcome this naturally? Thank you for all you do. Okay. Happy to help with this. I suffered from eosinophilic rhinitis, vasomotor rhinitis. So I totally know where you're coming from. For those that have never heard about this, it's basically inflammation of your nasal passages. That's what rhinitis essentially is. It can come and go based on the heat. It can come and go so let me give you a good example. My nose and eyes used to water when I would go from outside in college, cold weather, to inside, warm weather. My eyes would water once I got into the cafeteria. I remember this clear as day because it would happen every single time. And it wasn't good, right? But I was sick back then. 18 to 22 years old, I was sick. I wasn't doing well. So I had all these different symptoms. And I just thought that I was a bit strange, which I probably was. But also, I had this, and there were underlying root causes. Now I no longer have that. So this can all get better. Game changers for me was fixing my gut, which helped me to greatly rebalance the inflammation in my body, helped to get rid of my allergies. I had candida overgrowth. I had bacterial overgrowth. I had H. pylori. That dramatically helped with my Th1, Th2 immune system. You most likely are Th2 dominant like I was. I can't say that you are. Again, I'm not here to provide a diagnosis. So fixing that helped tremendously. Using things like Hist Pro and vitamin C every day have been game changers for me. They're naturally antihistamines. What else? And let's just go to biomechanics now as well. Your nasal passages might be very small. Mine are, especially on my right side. I have a deviated septum on my right side, either from birth, how I was born, or I broke my nose twice when I was younger. One, when I was very young, like 6 months old, which you can't even say is technically a break. I won't go into the story today. Maybe I'll tell it another time. But I had serious issues with my nose due to a fall when I was only 6 months old from a very high height. Luckily, I'm still here. But anyway, my nose was shifted to one side and it was bleeding. Brought me to the doctor. It's very soft cartilage at 6 months old, but clearly it's a deformity of the nose. And then when I was younger, I broke it as well. So anyway, I have a deviated septum, harder to breathe through that side. What fixed it? Here's what fixed it. Consciously breathing through my nose all day when I can do it. And the other part is getting rid of and eliminating food sensitivities, namely dairy and gluten. Dairy is the big one though. When I got rid of that, I was able to breathe through my nose much easier, which was a game changer. And so hopefully through all of that, that is helpful because if you have small nasal passages, you don't want any inflammation because then it makes it very difficult to breathe in through your nose. Part of it could be sympathetic nervous system dominance. The last resort for people, if you're just born with really small nasal passages, they do have nasal passage widening surgery. I've never opted for that. I'm never going to do it only because it messes with the balance that I have now in my nasal passages. So that's that. So a lot of options in their area, Andrea. Okay, Katie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Sorry. I just answered Katie's. All right. Jesse's up next. Hi, thank you for all you do. I'm new to the podcast. I had one issue. I'm not 100% sure you answered it already. I tried to look it up on a past podcast, but wasn't able to find anything. So my question is, one, I think every night or a lot of nights, I wake up with a tight jaw. I once woke up at 3 a.m. and noticed my jaw clenched. I'm not sure why or even if it's a health issue or mental. Okay, so let's stop there. Jesse, I think you've written in multiple times. I just want everyone to know within the last few weeks. So I just want everyone to know we're about 6 weeks to 7 weeks delayed in answering your question. And not for lack of trying, we just get a lot of questions, and we answer 6 on Saturday and we answer 6 on Sunday. So Jesse, let me get you the podcast. We just answered that on. So if we go to stevencabral.com/podcasts, it's going to be called Lockjaw. It'll be right in the temple. The title. I've been speaking a lot today. So let's find it for you. Oh, there it is right there. 2095. All right. So Jesse, your first question is answered at stevencabral.com/2095 for tension in the jaw. All right. But the second question is this. Ever since I can remember, I've always only had one nostril working. Sometimes it switches. Mostly is my right nostril that gets stuffed or can't breathe through it. If you could shed some light on this, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy to answer this. This is very interesting. I used to get this all the time too. I'd get one blocked nasal passage and it would switch sometimes. Sometimes it would be more on one side. What gives? Why is this? Well, mine used to be more on my right side because it's my deviated septum. And whenever I was more inflamed or there was bacteria or yeast, it would get blocked. So here's the thing that I forgot to share with our friend Katie as well. One thing that was instrumental in helping, I did the SIBO protocol. Now, again, it wasn't the SIBO protocol that we have now. I wish it was because I had to do multiple. And the citruscyl drops, believe it or not, I used back in the day. So that was remarkably helpful. You could run the bacteria and parasite stool test, and you could run the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, and you could run the IgG food sensitivity test, all at Equilife. You can find those at stevencabral.com/labs. And if you get them as a bundle, you even save money there as well. So that's great. So that will tell you if you get issues in your gut, you may have them in your nose as well. I did because of all the antibiotics I took. People think like, oh, well, the antibiotics only kill the bad bacteria. Well, sure, but they also kill some good bacteria, and they throw off, believe it or not, the bacteria in your nasal passages and even on your skin, which is why I used to have folliculitis all the time too. All of those things have been fixed, luckily. Here's what I did. CBO protocol plus citruscyl drops for my gut, and then I did 3 weeks of neti pot once or twice a day. What did I do? Water with a little bit of real salt and a little bit, actually 2 drops of the citruscyl drops. And what I did was I washed out my nasal passages in the shower, and that helped to kill a lot of that bacteria locally in my nasal passages while doing the CBO protocol. Okay, the other thing that's very beneficial for 2 to 3 weeks is the Nasacort nasal spray. 2 to 3 squirts once or twice a day. I found that very beneficial as well. So there you go. That's where I would start, all right? Maggie's up next. Hi, Dr. Calbral. I'm a huge fan of your podcast and try to follow your advice as much as I can. I've struggled, by the way, thank you, Maggie, and thank you everyone for the kind words. I appreciate that. I've struggled with chronic pelvic pain and inflammation in my lower abdomen for about 9 years. I've had ultrasounds, CT scans, let's see what else. Therapy, physical therapy, Botox, antidepressants, put in birth control. Let's see. You name it, I've done it. Get it. I totally understand. So inflammation, all sorts of different things going on, recurring yeast infections, white coating on tongue, depression, anxiety, worsened, brain fog, overall feeling more fatigued. My immune system isn't as strong as it was pre-pain. After listening to your podcast, it made sense that Candida would be the culprit. So I'm currently on week 5 of the CBO. I've noticed a change in brain fog and yeast infections and overall mood, but I still have constant dull inflammation in my lower abdomen. What do you think this could be? Could it be caused by something else? The pain is worse if I worked out regularly or tends to be worse at night. Stop smoking weed as that would make the pain worse, maybe from the change in blood pressure. Not sure. Any advice is much appreciated. Thank you. Interesting. Really interesting. So I'm glad that you're doing the CBO protocol. Fantastic. Maybe add those citruscyl drops. They're just, again, there's specific instructions. You work up for 3 weeks and that's it. This is very interesting because you're getting a lot of benefit, but there's still that dull ache and inflammation in the lower abdomen. Now, your lower abdomen, I wish I had my little buddy Walter right there, but the lower abdomen, there's only one thing there, and that's your small intestines. So you still have 7 more weeks to go in the CBO protocol. So it could go all the way by then. It's interesting that I would ask you this. So here's a great podcast. It's strange that I'm referring to one of my own podcasts as great. So I'll apologize for that. But here's the reason why I think it's helpful. So here's a helpful podcast. That's a much nicer way of saying it, because it might get you the results you're looking for. So listen to episode 2098, because I would ask you those questions and I would find out the answer by asking those questions. And our IHPs and our health coaches are trained to ask these questions as well. 2098, listen to that show. Because I would ask you, do you have the dull ache if you are fasting for the day? Is it there, meaning, is the dull ache there even if you don't eat food? That would give me my answer. So it could be a food that you're eating. It could be anything, honestly. It could be histamine-related foods. It could be dairy-related foods. It could be lectin-related foods. It could be, what else? Salicylate type foods. So that would give me the answer. If you didn't have it, if you didn't eat, okay, food sensitivity based. Let's look at what's going on, right? What those food sensitivities may be. So that's definitely what I would ask you. The interesting thing, though, is when you smoke weed, it makes the pain worse, when typically it would make the pain better. So you have to ask yourself, why would THC and maybe even CBD make the pain worse? Now, you didn't say CBD, so I'm wondering if you took CBD, will that actually help the pain? Probably not, because, cannabinoids aren't radically different than tetrahydrocannabinoids, which is THC. It just doesn't have as much of the psychoactive component. It's very interesting. This one I'm going to be thinking about for days. I'll tell you that, because I don't like being stumped. I stopped smoking weed as that would make the pain worse. That holds a key right there. It holds a key. And I don't have it right now, because I would need to do a little bit of thinking and research on this. Okay, I'm going to mental note this. I may add it to next week's house calls as well, but I'm going to get back to you on this. It will be on a future podcast. I don't know where yet. Smoking weed, because I need to at least give you a working theory or hypothesis, right? And pain in the abdomen. It's obviously a sensitivity, but if you smoke it, you're not ingesting it. So I'm going to get back to you on this, and I'm going to reach out to our community. We have literally thousands of integrative health practitioners listening to this show. Give Maggie your best working theory of why smoking weed, marijuana, cannabis may make her abdomen feel worse. Let's think about this. Does smoking weed increase histamines? Potentially. Could it be a histamine issue? Let's have our community weigh in. On YouTube, just my name, Stephen Cabral, and the show is episode 2115. So on Instagram or YouTube, give Maggie your help and comments and theories, all right? And we'll sift through this. We'll work through it together. Let's bring the whole community in. Thousands of integrative health practitioners, all right? Let's help Maggie out. On YouTube at Stephen Cabral, on Instagram at Stephen Cabral, and today's podcast is 2115. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on Instagram because we don't do a weekend post. So let's head on over to YouTube, all right? Just my name, Stephen Cabral. Look up episode 2115. Let's help Maggie out, okay? Next question is for James. James says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I have been diagnosed with diverticulitis, and I had an acute attack many times over the past 15 years. I've been told to get the operation. I take antibiotics when this happens, and no, that is not good for me. However, it's now 2 years since my last attack. I'm 65. I'm concerned I may need the operation in later years. How can I prevent it from happening and cure it with diet? I take your supplements, especially probiotics. What would you recommend? Trying to avoid an operation and trying to cure it." Okay, so we can't talk about medical cures or medical treatment protocols or diagnosis, but we can talk about rebalance of the body so that inflammation of the diverticuli or the intestines does not exist, right? So we want an anti-inflammatory diet. First things first. If you haven't run the bacteria and parasite stool test, we do that. If you can only run one, we run that. The second is we do the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. That's second best. You still want to run it if you can. And then third would be the IgG food sensitivity. Our job is to decrease inflammation in that 26 feet of digestive tract as fast and easily as humanly possible. The next thing we want to do is remove the Candida, H. pylori, bacteria, parasites that could be causing the inflammation. The labs will tell that. Again, the labs are at stevencabral.com/labs. Those are all my recommendations for labs. Remember, the labs aren't mine. They're not Equalife's, but you need a doctor to sign off on them. That's what we do. And we ship them to you. You can do them all at home. Okay. The next thing is we want to be careful with diet. We want to be careful with diet and fiber with people with diverticulitis. They typically don't do well with a lot of fiber right away. They don't do well with a lot of vegetables right away. They don't do well with a lot of nuts and seeds right away. And they don't do well with a lot of grains right away. So you know what's working for your body right now. You're 2 years free from any diverticulitis attack, which, by the way, congratulations, James. That's amazing. You're doing great. So you're really doing great. So if you're doing the daily foundational protocol, keep doing it, right? Omega-3s can be dramatically helpful for this. So definitely, hopefully you're using the liquid omega-3 support. It's just less to break down. You can certainly use the soft gels, but the liquid omega-3 is great. You're taking your daily nutritional support. You're doing your daily probiotic that you're talking about. You're doing a great job. You really are. So fantastic. Enzymes could be tremendously helpful for you right now. And then we want to start to work back in a little bit of that fiber, but only in a healthy way, right? So you know what's working for your body right now. You might be grain-free. You might be seed-free. I know a lot of people I work with diverticulitis, they don't do well with seed grains, quinoa, amaranth, millet. They don't do well with seeds like flax seeds, the little seeds that can cause maybe some inflammation for them. But they do great with vegetables. They do great with fruit. They do great with carbs like oatmeal. So that's what we focus more on, and they can be very healthy doing that as well. So James, that's where I recommend, all right? Alex is up next. Hi, Dr. Calbral. And our last question today. I'm so thankful for all of the content and energy that you have pushed out for everyone. I appreciate that, Alex. My question is on Shilajit. When you take Shilajit, does it break a fast? Thanks again, Alex. All right. Anybody who wants to know about the Ayurvedic, it's not even an herb, it's a resin. The Ayurvedic resin called Shilajit, go on over to stevencabral.com/podcasts and type in Shilajit, Shilajit. Okay. That's how you spell it. You'll also see it in today's question as well. So, you know what? I'd love to be able to give you those podcasts too. Let's see if I can do that. So if we go to stevencabral.com/podcasts and we type it into the box, because it can really be a great product. The problem with Shilajit is that you need to watch out that it has been tested for heavy metals because it naturally contains heavy metals. You might say, well, why would I use a product that contains any heavy metals? Remember, you're getting a little bit of heavy metals in fruit and some vegetables and a lot of things because it's actually present in the soil. So a little bit naturally present in the soil, not a big deal. A lot, well, that's a problem. Okay, I talk about Shilajit on episode 1637, 1353, 1044, 506. It looks like my two biggest reviews on Shilajit, though, are 506 and 1673. So those are the ones that I recommend if you don't know what it is. Now, your question was, does it break a fast? That's what you asked, Alex. The good news is it doesn't. So you can use Shilajit during a fast. It will not break a fast. You can mix it with water and you're good to go. It has a very, very burnt, earthy-based taste for anybody that's tasted it. If you have histamine issues, you may not like it. But it can be a good product to use. Typically pulsed, you might use it for like 3 weeks to 6 weeks and then not use it for a while. And then you might go back to it like once a year or twice a year or so. So Alex, hopefully that was helpful. Thank you everyone for tuning in to today's show. I appreciate you. Feel free to always share this information with anybody it could serve. And we'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I appreciate you. I truly do. So thank you so much. And as a valued listener of the show, I want to let you know about our Zelderberry Immuno Lozenges giveaway. This is a product that not enough people know about, so I literally told the EcoLife team, I said, listen, I want to be able to share this product with more people so they know about the big benefits of Zelderberry. Zelderberry is a specific trademark product that we've created that provides the clinical benefits of elderberry extract. If you've never heard about elderberry, this is something that has now been used successfully in clinical trials to actually destroy and kill viruses by stopping that viral-based replication. And one of the perfect pairings with elderberry is zinc. Zinc is also now clinically proven to help stop viral-based replication. And for the common cold, zinc helps your body recover typically 1 to 2 or more days faster than you would without that extra zinc-based support. So that's why I love being able to provide you with the best of functional medicine, of course, mixed with ancient wisdom of Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine herbs. So if you've never heard of our Zelderberry products, we have a product called Zelderberry Max that you can literally take 3 times or more per day at the onset of a cold or virus, and you can use that for a week to boost the immune system. But Zelderberry lozenges is 25 milligrams of zinc, 100 milligrams of elderberry. You could take one of these a day to get your extra zinc in, or simply keep a bottle around, which is what I do, for that little dryness, scratchiness in the back of your throat, or maybe you're traveling on a plane, you're around a lot of people at a conference, and this is a great thing to use for that 3 to 5 days that you may need it. Now, for a cold, you might end up taking it for a week or two to get that 25 milligrams extra per day of zinc, as well as that elderberry extract. Again, both clinically proven. It's an amazing product, and you can check it out right now over at StephenCabral.com/EcoLife. And believe it or not, we are actually giving away free bottles right now. We have 500 bottles available. They are completely free for the first 500 orders, qualifying orders right now over at EcoLife. Find out all the details at StephenCabral.com/EcoLife, and you can check out both of our Zelderberry-based products. Take care, everyone.